Yes, ma'am.
So we were talking about existentialism. We were talking about what Sartre's thoughts are on it. He was in this essay, Human Existentialism and Human Emotions. He defends his, his ideology against all the attacks that have been happening against, the Christians have been attacking existentialism. Just think about this. You go out and you just say that there is no God, right, and the world is meaningless, and that you have to it's you who are responsible for your own actions, right? So this would cause quite a stir in the world. Although existentialist philosophy can be traced back to Dostoevsky, can be traced back to many 19th century writers. However, but it was only after the World War that this philosophy took, importance, gained importance. It came to be called as existentialist. Many literary works embodies the existentialist philosophy. For example, did you read Theater of Absurd? Did you read Theater of Absurd? No, we
No, ma'am.
haven't covered it yet. Yes. uh, Anyways, go ahead. So we'll see it in appearing in many of the literary texts when we'll go through it. It appeared in, for example, we did Hamlet last semester, right? So it appeared there. Hamlet asked to be or not to be. All right. So it was because he was taking the action. He didn't believe in anything, right? And he was taking responsibility for his action, and that kind of responsibility that could affect himself and others. He went into that state, that anguish. We discussed about anguish yesterday too. That anguish in which, which leads to inaction. According to Shakespeare, it leads to inaction. But according to Sartre, the anxiety that sets in because of the responsibility and the freedom that you have towards your action, eh, actually is a part of the process. It's just a part of the process. It just means that you have considered all the options. Are you getting my point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Kuldeep, Afreen, Rafat, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, free next point. Now we have covered what is, so existences precedes essence. First, you come into being, then you find your essence. Essence means the actions, the purpose, the ideas, everything that incorporates essence. Third is sorry. Second is freedom. Second is anguish. Third is freedom. Third topic that he deals with is freedom. Now you are completely free. Okay. uh is it you are He says that you are condemned to be free. You are condemned to be free. How can you be condemned to be free? The point is that freedom, where it because freedom is though it comes to you, though all your actions are your own, it's your will that's going to operate, but still it comes with the big burden of all those obligations, of all the responsibility, of all the choices that you have to make. Now you don't have anyone to share your burden with. All right. So that's why he says that you are condemned to be free. Next point that he adds is that of, values. What are the values? Now you're free, right? You're completely free means that there are no standards that you have to follow. So how can you differentiate between good and evil? Okay. So between how will you differentiate between good and evil? What Now one of the driving force that, that takes you towards acting morally is religion, right? कि जो है ऊपर वाला सब देख रहा है इसलिए सही से act करते हैं, right? So that points kind of vanishes when you are an existentialist and when you don't believe in anything else but your own will. Okay. So he is basically saying that what are the values that you can, so he is saying that it's the values that lies within, as a human being, that you have the values, that is where you can that's how you differentiate between good and evil. So it kind of develops you, the believing in existentialism, being an existentialist creates your character, as it teaches you to be self-reliant, as it teaches you to be more, as it as it as it teaches you to be more, to value your own self. Now these are the some of the points that we have that we'll be doing. So let's read the essay. Okay, hold on, let me open the essay first. Can you all see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Can one of you just go through it? Forlorn. Now we came to the concept of forlornness. What is being forlorn? That we we are thirsty for some kind of reference, for some kind of values, but the values in the society are themselves vague, right? For example, there he gave an example of a student, of his one of his students whose mother was sick, right, and his father and brother had died in some kind of in the war, right? And now his choice was between going to the war himself and fighting alongside his brothers, and another was staying with his mother and taking care of her. And he one thing that he is sure of is that he is he's the one his mother is living for, right? Kuldeep, you can switch off your camera if you want.
कुलदीप दिखा रहा है मैम हमको।
Okay, so forlornness is so there's a student, okay, who wants who has to choose between staying with his mother, who is depending on him completely, who he's the only source of her happiness, right? And on the other hand, there is his this call for duty, that he has to go and fight in a war. Now he's confused on what basis should he choose this. On what basis should he make this decision? Should he make this decision on the basis of Christian doctrine, which says to to take care of your neighbors, to take care of your parents, and to choose a more rugged path? So he says, according to him, well, which one is the rugged path? Is this the rugged path is towards the war, or the rugged path is the mother, right? Should he choose it on the basis of personal devotion, or should he choose something which is something more ambiguous? So that kind of forlornness, right? The forlornness of any kind of value, that is so he says that the world is devoid of value, the social standards do not stand, they are ambiguous, and they cannot be accepted as as something concrete and some as a basis on which you can make your decisions. So it's better that you make your decisions on the basis of what you feel like, on the basis of how you would like others to take decisions, of how what your humanity says to you. That's what he says. So the social distinction between good and evil is abandoned. Okay, that's how he treats the anguish.